Greetings, folks, and welcome to Command Modern Air Naval Operations. I'm Ebereg, and this is the Canary's cage scenario. Now, the basis is that a bunch of North African countries have unified into the North African Islamist League and have seized the Canary Islands, and the Spanish Navy is attempting to retake them. I mean, what is this, the fucking 1500s? But anyways, so, I have reports that a second naval amphibious force has been dispatched to the Canary Islands. It's composed of 3 or 4 troop transports and their escorts. There are also some naval submarines that have been detected while taking up position off the coast of Morocco. Satellite recon shows that both main airports in Gran Canaria and Tenerife are being used by naval air units. So I'm to proceed with Grupo Delta, close to Santa Cruz de Tenerife, and land the Spanish Marines. Expect attacks from sub-air and surface units. Use Grupo Alpha to provide air and anti-submarine warfare cover for the amphibious group. The enemy amphibious group must be destroyed before it reaches the landing area. To accomplish the task, it will need help from Air Force units based at Rota, Moron, and Torrejón. Use these units to also attack Moroccan air bases and try to reduce their operability. There are also a couple of submarines in the archipelago, ready to gather information about naval defenses. They will also help act as early detection of raids coming from Los Rodeos and Gando. Protect our troop transports at all costs. We will need every single man to recover our islands. The landing area is marked by some reference points. Scenario duration is 2 days, 16 hours. Let's do this. So the thing about this scenario is that it actually takes quite a while, so I'm going to set a timer. When it goes off, I am going to stop the video to start a new one. So first things first, let's look at MCON. Grupo Delta, let's set their sonars to active. Grupo Alpha, let's set their sonars to active. And let's go to Torrejón. We do have a bunch of Hornets. Let's set up 3 with harms to take out air defenses surrounding the runways. And let's set up 2 with airways with penetrating bombs so that they can actually take out the runways. And let's go to Moron and do the same there. There are 2 airfields that we're going to need to hit. And each of them have air defenses. So disarm 3 with harms and 2 with payways. So the next thing you need to do is set up a few missions. Let's have a reference point here, here, and here. Select these reference points, make them relative fixed bearing to Grupo Alpha, and let's add some more reference points here, here, and here. Select them and make them relative fixed bearing to Grupo Delta. And let's select all of these reference points and add a new mission. Call it Fighter Protect. And it's an anti-aircraft warfare patrol mission. Validation is a little off. No problem, just, yeah, there we go. And let's add all of our air superiority fighters to it. Not the ones from the Príncipe de Asturias, our carrier. We're going to need the AMRAAMs on the carrier for later. So let's also add all the air superiority Hornets. And do not investigate contacts outside the patrol area, but do investigate them within reference range, and only have 1 flight engage a hostile contact. We're also going to turn off the 1/3 roll for the time being because, well, this really isn't a lot of fighter coverage. So, let's look at MCON, radar active, okay. So, let's actually set up a few more reference points as a prosecution zone. Here and here, and set these reference points to be relative to Grupo Alpha, and set these reference points to be relative to Grupo Delta. Select all of the reference points, go back to the mission editor, prosecution area, and add all these points. So the point of these prosecution area reference points is to make sure that the fighters do fire at enemy fighters that are within range. And actually, let's bring these reference points just a bit closer, since we're not going to need to defend that site from attack. And let's set up a new mission to find an area here. Make it relative to Grupo Alpha. Add new mission and call it Sky Eye. Support mission. Now, let's add the helicopters from the Principe de Asturias. We're going to add more later. We just want them to launch from the Principe de Asturias first and add this Santiago. And set the station altitude to 15,000 feet. Also, don't allow it to use tankers. Mission doctrine, MCON settings, radar, and jammers are active. What else? So let's add another set of reference points here. Make them relative fixed bearing to Grupo Alpha, and set up a new mission. We call it Subhunt. It's an anti-submarine warfare patrol, and we're going to add every anti-submarine helicopter we have. So these guys. Oh, and we're going to also add all the P3 Orions. So 1/3 rule: do not investigate contacts outside of patrol area and within weapon range, and do not allow them to refuel from tankers. So let's go to the mission doctrine. Radar passive, sonar is active, and also let's set the weapon control status to tight because we don't want to blow up any fishes. What else? Oh yes, let's set up another area here. Make it relative fixed bearing to Grupo Alpha. Add new mission and call it fuel supply. It's a support mission. And we're going to add 2 Herky Birds from Torrejon. So, while we're at it, let's go to Fighter Protect and say it's only allowed to use tankers from fuel supply. What else? And, oh yes, one last thing. Let's set up one last mission here. Make it relative fixed bearing to Grupo Alpha. Add a new mission, call it Buffy Cap. It's an anti-aircraft warfare patrol. And let's add the Sidewinder armed carrier from the Principe de Asturias. Don't use the 1/3 rule, and don't investigate contacts outside patrol area or within weapon range. And we're going to only have a single aircraft as flight size. Oh, and we're going to deactivate this mission for the time being. So the point of the Buffy Cap is to intercept any anti-shipping missiles that are coming in. Buffy. Vampires. Hence the term Buffy Cap. And we're going to set the weapon state to Winchester and allow targets of opportunity with air-to-air guns, since we want to intercept as many missiles as possible. So, is there anything else I forgot? Oh yes, we do need to set the speeds of each group to 15 knots, so they get there quickly, but not too quickly. Make this guy go up here and here. Set him to cruise at periscope depth. Make the Mistral go here, then here. Set it to cruise at periscope depth. Get the Sirocco to cruise at periscope depth. and get the Tramontana to cruise, but just under the layer. You'll see why in a moment. So, yeah, let's unpause time and see what happens. Okay. The Sirocco has contacts near it. Let's turn off diving on the threat. There's actually not that many threats here. Let's see what this guy has. He only has depth charges and an ASW rocket. So let's see. Okay. So let's continue on. Set the Sirocco to cruise. Actually, so now that our AEW choppers are airborne, let's go to the mission editor, go to Sky Eye, and add all the other electronic support choppers so that we're not left hanging. And let's get Santiago. Wait. Okay, let's get this Herky Bird to rebase to Rota. And let's also get the Santiago to rebase to Rota. And should we base the Super Hornets to Morone? That's not a lot of airland, so I'm going to hold off on that. Okay, Hawkeye has been detected. And more bogeys have been detected, as well as a few mobiles. Bogeys detected. More bogeys detected. Ooh. So these guys can be a bit of a problem. We'll deal with them later. And let's get these Harriers to move down here, since those Vipers are getting awfully close. And I see some coming. So the thing about nail Air Forces is that they're only carrying sparrows, which are complete and utter trash. They lose track when you go evasive, so the point is to make them go evasive. And our Harriers could be in a bit of trouble. Let's get these Falcons to move a bit faster. And slow them down. And we just lost a Harrier. Bummer. Okay, so these guys have been classified as Ramadan missile boats. They could be a problem if they launch their missiles at us. But they're only going to launch their missiles at us if they see and classify us, which is why we have our radars turned off. So, yeah. And let's get these Harriers to move down here. Since we... Oh. So we're getting a message for the Tramontana to insert a Spanish Spec Ops team at the landing area to reconnoiter it. It also says, do not attack unless you are fired on. You see why I set it to go below the layer now? So it's making good speed to get there in time, so let's just leave it be. Okay, so these guys are engaged defensive against these Falcons. Actually, let's change the side doctrine so that our AMRAAMs are only released from 30 nautical miles away. So that they have a better chance of actually hitting and so we don't get sparrows up the ass. I mean, they don't have very good IFF skills. That seems to have worked better. Just a bit. Okay, so we're detecting the enemy amphibious force. I'm gonna need to take them out eventually, but not just yet. I'm gonna need to find my time. Let's see. Oh, this guy's being detected by Mark 1 eyeball. So let's see what he has again. There's SW. Just depth charges. And while we're at it, let's get these Harriers down here to shoot down this Hawkeye. And get them up to cruise speed. What's this guy doing? Ready? Oh, there's the timer. So, yeah. That's it for now, guys. I'll see ya. This is Ebereg. I'll see ya next time.